As the leaves change, it's a spooktacular time to take another look at your credit card balance. Why not scare away high interest rates with a balance transfer from Skyla Credit Union? When you open a new Visa Platinum credit card, you'll enjoy a hauntingly good 0% APR for the first 12 months on balance transfers, and no balance transfer fees lurking in the shadows. Don't let your balance give you goosebumps. Carve it down with Skyla. Visit SkylaCU.com to learn more. APR is annual percentage rate, federally insured by NCUA.
Hello again, it's your friendly neighborhood host, JT Wheatley, back for another episode of the classics, this time being the creepy classics. And in this one I want to highlight the Saga of the Swamp Thing, particularly the beginning of the Alan Moore's now classic run back in 1984, which with the first trade was issues number 20 to 28. And this is pretty much was now considered the definitive final take on Swamp Thing to this day, as Swamp Thing is seemingly dead and taken in for an autopsy, and a shocking revelation is revealed about the Swamp Thing, pretty much changing the character and pretty much set the tone for, like I said, for this day and so forth, including all the adaptations afterwards. Now, while Len Wein and Bernie Wrightson rightfully created the original Swamp Thing and, of course, had to re-evolve them, Alan Moore puts his last final stamp and really gives a kind of merges Swamp Thing with his place in the natural world and also kind of a horror element, too. Like, there's some truly creepy stories and artwork that come out of this, and, of course, it's helped by a number of great writers, Stephen Bichette and John Totalman are two of them. And it's just a great, creepy read, and Swamp Thing is one of the great monster characters of DC and this comics in general. He's a tragic figure in many ways, and this storyline really emphasizes how much of a tragic character he is, and there's a great twist that, honestly, in many ways, you go, should have seen this coming, but it's fantastic. It's one of those great retcons that fits into a character perfectly, and definitely worth reading just for the story itself, but also a nice little horror element to it. So yeah, for looking for another creepy classic, check out the Saga of the Swamp Thing, Book 1 by Alan Moore, which is now being recollected by DC. Definitely start with Volume 1, because it is a nice creepy classic. And now it is October 30th, 2025, time for the favorite comic of the week. Absolute Batman Annual #1 by Daniel Warren Johnson and James Herron, which tells two stories, one in which shows a prequel to the Absolute Batman series in which a young Batman Bruce Wayne, even younger, goes to acquire some weaponry to build his arsenal and ends up going up against some white nationalist neo-Nazis and finds a way to acquire his crazy Batmobile he currently has. And the second one, he takes on a bunch of thugs who are invading a sanctuary. This is a great read, especially the first issue, which features Daniel Warren Johnson's dynamic art as Batman that slays waste of some neo-Nazis about to take down an immigrant camp, and it's a lot of fun to read. Just seeing, this is a really brutal Batman, even more brutal than the one that is currently in Absolute Batman. Kind of is showing a nice contrast between him and the Batman in the regular universe. And it also shows that maybe he pushes himself a little too far. You might see him starting to temper his ways, especially when he ends up with a priest that kind of hey, you're going a little overboard here. It's just a great read in general, great art, a lot of fun to read, and highly recommended. Once again, another brilliant example of what makes the Absolute Universe in general the best thing DC's done in years. And with that, well, granted, this episode technically drops on Devil's Night. This also, probably most people listening on Halloween, so happy Halloween. Hope you're enjoying a nice festive holiday. Gets lots of candy, dressed in great costumes. And if other stuff to recommend, of course, always The Crow, which is a great October comic book film. The Long Halloween, the great read as usual from the Batman Long Halloween with Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. That's a classic read in general. And some others, I picked up Junji Ito's Frankenstein adaptation. Very cool. Also some nice short stories. Not one of his best works, but he does a great job with the Frankenstein monster. For those who don't know, he's also the guy who did the very creepy Gaio manga, which is another great read and a great horror classic. And go out and enjoy some spooky reads in Halloween and have a good Halloween in general. And of course, join me next week for probably another edition of the Archives, and we're going to be back in some of the older history episodes. And until then, go and enjoy yourself a good comic book. And definitely, once again, check out the Absolute Universe at DC. It's the best thing they've done in a very long time.